I'm honored to invite Tommaso Sacchi, Deputy Mayor for Culture, City of Florence, and Chairman of Teatro della Toscana, Florence. A big thank you for coming here.
It's okay. Hi, everyone, and thank you for this precious invitation, so thank you so much. I would love to spend a couple of words before getting into the presentation. I hope everything is okay with my language. Well, it's not my language, but with English language. With you, if everybody is comfortable with this language, we can get into my contribution to this really important and relevant symposium. I'm really happy to be in. So thank you all. Thank you so much for this high quality invitation. I really appreciate. And I would love to to give you an overview on the city I am Deputy Mayor for Culture of, that is Florence. And I'm here to represent both my city and the institution I am the chairman of, that is the Teatro della Pergola, Teatro della Toscana, is the national theater of Italy, is the main theater of Florence, is the most ancient teatro all'italiana of Italy. You know, this particular shape of our theaters in the cities of my country. So in a sense, it is the mother or the father, depends on the gender you want to give to theater. It doesn't matter to me. So mother or father of theaters of my country. So I really appreciate this invitation also because I'm, as a chairman, just been nominated by the mayor of this major institution of my city. I want to give back to the theater, to the season of the theater, a season of dance, body languages inside the annual season of this institution. So we will see later on my presentation that we are working a lot on the international level of collaborations, of co-productions, and so my hope is to also to strengthen a good dialogue with Israeli institutions on dance. So I think, and I hope it is, my presence here in your country is also a possibility for us to work together on the level of contemporary dance. So how do we look at your city? How do we see Tel Aviv? This is interesting because, you know, in the common sense of Italy, for people that are, I come from a curatorial background, so I'm just borrowed to the politics. I'm not a politician. So I'm an irregular politician also in my country, and I come from a curatorial background, and I've worked with the languages of bodies of body and dance and performance since I have also founded, before getting into my institutional role, I founded a residency program project in the northern Italy, in the region of the lakes of Italy, in Lago Maggiore, and we had the privilege to host also some choreographers, some creators, and some performers from your country. So how do you look at Tel Aviv? We look at Tel Aviv as a city that is drawing new trajectories, new perspectives on dance and on contemporary performing arts. So it's really interesting for us to have the possibility to dialogue on the system of finances, of support, of helping the cultural system of a city and of a community like yours, because I think that through the exchanges of practices of politics, and I thank you very much for this piece of conference you gave us, because it's really interesting to get into your studies and researches, and I hope to add something to today's symposium with my experience and with my city. So if you do agree, I would start from a video, if we can proceed. I can do it on my own, maybe. No? Play. Okay, is So, this is a kind of a very explicit video clip on what Florence is, in fact. But it helps me not only to give back the beauty of and the privilege of being the administrator of such a city, but it's also a good opportunity to tell about how it is not easy to work on a contemporary cultural level in a city that is the keeper of a huge patrimony of beauty of the past. So this is the point. How can we work on contemporary languages in a city that has to take care of such a patrimony? So the thing is how we, and me as an administrator of the city, help the system of new creators, new choreographers, new dancers, new artists, new curators, in a city that has the very heavy patrimony on its shoulder. And I try to give a kind of an answer to this major question, because in the last 5 years I've been working, I was not born in Milano. I was not born in Florence. I was born in Milano, and I've worked for the last 5 years of my life for the city of Florence, since I was heading, very young, the Cabinet of Culture of Milano, and then I've been called by the mayor of Florence, who's young as well, he's 43, to work with him as head of the cultural cabinet of the last 5 years, and now as a deputy mayor for culture and as a president of the Major Theatre of Florence. But in these years, we've tried in many ways to find a way, together with the mayor, with the solidarity of the mayor, to support and to finance, and at the same time to give the possibility to new creators of culture to get in touch with the city and to build up new productions. And the ways of supporting are many, and it is not the only way. Is not only the economical finances given to companies and to artists, but we have focused a lot, and you will see during my presentation. I don't know where should I. Okay. Sorry. Okay. We've tried to give also another kind of support that was in the needs of the cultural community, that is space. We gave a lot of space to new creators of culture, to new companies, to new producers, to new curators, to contemporary art. So we've done a big effort in giving new spaces for new trajectories of culture in our city. To tell you what Florence is today, I can give you some data, some infos, some statistics about the city. So it's a city of 100 museums. In the meanwhile, I tried to get along with the presentation, otherwise we stay here for the whole afternoon. Okay. Is a city of 100 museums, of 35 major monuments in the city center. Is a city with a UNESCO historical center, so it's part of the human patrimony of art and culture. We have more than 45 international universities in Florence, so the ambition to come to study, to pass a period of your life, of people's life in Florence is really high. We have more than 200 cultural associations in the center of Florence. We have 14 public libraries all around the cities. We have 12 public parks. But we also have 14 million tourists every year. This data is really important because Florence is the biggest of the smaller cities in the world, because it's a city with the population similar to Tel Aviv. It's about 400,000 people living in Florence, but we have 14 million visitors every year. So this strange proportion of people living and people visiting is something to take into consideration also in the finances that we give to the population of the city, because the services are tripled or more, because we need to give a lot of support to the city, because to be able to work with a stressful presence of tourists every year. So I wanted to... Okay, so this is part of what I was telling about the new spaces for culture. In Italy and in Europe, unfortunately, we have registered too many times the lack of spaces for culture in the cities of my country, because of few finances, because of several problems. Our colleagues in other cities didn't have the chance to keep all the places for independent culture open, but it's very frequent that you hear about a bar that is closing, a club that is closing, a school of dance that is closing. We've done something opposite from this sad story of places for culture that are closing, and we have opened in 5 years 17 new spaces for cultural productions. This picture tells about the Palazzina dell'Indiano is the name of the building, and it is a place that has been given by a call for tenders, a public call. We've proposed to take this good place that is suitable for dance and for rehearsing, and a colleague of yours, who's one of the major choreographers in Italy, whose name is Virgilio Sieni, is a very, very well-known dancer and choreographer and creator in Italy, who was the past art director of the Biennale Danza in Venice, decided to to settle a school of dance and a laboratory for dancing in the middle of the Park of Florence, Parco delle Cascine. So this is another example of the 17, I will do an overview on the 17 spaces we're given to performing arts and to arts, to contemporary arts in general. This is Park, is a brand new space for dance. It's absolutely new. Is in the park, in the same park that I've told you before, so the Parco delle Cascine, has been given to Fabbrica Europa. That is one of the major festivals that somebody of you for sure know, led by my friend Maurizia Settembri, that maybe you hosted in Tel Aviv, because she's a globetrotter. She's an amazing woman who travels all around the world telling about the experience of Fabbrica Europa. That is a festival that for more than 20 years has been bringing to Stazione Leopolda, that was the train station, the old train station of Florence, given to them for this amazing festival, who hosted the major companies from all over the world. And now they have a new space for rehearsing, for hosting new companies in the middle of the historical Park of Florence, Parco delle Cascine. So, and this is the Modern Art Museum of Florence in Piazza Santa Maria Novella. Is the last museum that we opened in town. Is one of the 100 museums. But why I wanted to show this? Because it has, we have opened new halls, new spaces, new galleries of this museum in order to host, to alternate very well-known artists from the 20th and 21st century. We've done an exhibition by Giorgio Morandi, for instance, so one of the major artists of the past century, and we alternate with new discoveries, new talents in the art world. So this idea of a kind of a Wunderkammer, a kind of a amazing place for art that can also put on the stage new names of the art world, international art world. This is another space that is being taken by the municipality from the state. We got the property of this amazing museum. Is Museo Marino Marini, is the collection of one of the protagonists, again, of the 20th century art, a Toscan major figure of art from Pistoia, a city close to Florence, and since last 20 years it has been founded this amazing museum that hosts also in the crypta, in the underground, hosts many new artists. And this is another story, but on the same level, because this is the fortress of Florence, so it's the castle overviewing the city. I'm working actually on this project in order to work during the whole year and not only in summer on contemporary art. And you can see Jan Fabre, for example, so an amazing exhibition by Jan Fabre. The previous one was the skeleton, the bones of the Dominicis, the big skeleton of the Dominicis. This is Jan Fabre. The previous one was Eliseo Mattiacci. The previous one was Anthony Gormley. So this is the park in which we are investing as the place for public installation, for public art. So has become, it was only, I mean, it was the old fortress of Florence, so an historical space of the city that kept part of the history of the Renaissanceital city, and now we have turned into an open-air gallery for artists, global artists from all over the world. This is Palazzo Medici Riccardi. This is the Medici Palace in the heart of Florence. We have opened new galleries, new spaces, investing public fundings also to bring in the courtyards, in the halls, of this amazing palace new projects of music, of dance, of contemporary art, also through a major festival that I've been art director of for 5 years. It's called Estate Fiorentina. Later on, we will see some details of this festival that has the capacity to light up a portion of the cities, like buildings, old palaces, with the contemporary language of arts. Okay, this is part of the National Theatre because it's one of the very precious and small theatres next to the Duomo, to the dome, to the Brunelleschi dome of Florence. It's called Teatro Niccolini. It's a good example of investment because a private person who's a publisher in Florence decided to put a lot of money, of personal money, on the buying and restoring this diamond of the theaters in Italy. And then through an agreement with the foundation, with the Fondazione Teatro della Toscana, that I am the chairman of, we have been able to open it in the system of theaters of my city. So it's a very good example. Why I'm telling it? Because it's a very, very good example of a private-public funding that work together through a common dialogue, through a common agreement, and this now is a theater given back to the community. It was ruined. We didn't have immediately the money to restore it, and so we found a private illuminated person who decided to bring it back to public through an agreement with the Public Theatre of Florence. So what are we doing? I just focus a little bit on these images of Teatro Niccolini, because what we are doing now in this theater, we are doing a very experimental project, because I'm focusing as a chairman of the theater on this all the public foundations in Italy and all over Europe and all over the world, I hope, are investing in new generations, in letting the new generation of creators, of producers, of cultural operators get in dialogue with the public institutions and starting new projects in order to involve the new creators of our country. But what we are doing in this theater is very experimental, and I think is a very good vision on the investment on new generations of creators, because we are giving the theater, so we are giving the keys of the theater to this selected group of people between 18 and 25 years of age. So we've proposed the group of people, the group of young guys that is called I Nuovi, the new, to take care of the theater, not only in terms of acting on the stage, of being involved in a screenplay or being involved in a production, but taking care of the theater as a system of jobs, as a system of professionalities that have to be tempted, that have to be tried in order to get into the world of theater. So it's a way to trust in new generation, asking them also to they clean the theater, they open the theater, they sell tickets, they bring people to their seats, and they act on the stage, and they direct a play or whatever, but they also take care of the building, of the communication and all the aspects. And this is giving a lot of good effects on the community and on the professionalities of these new creators, of these new cultural operators. So I will go back also to this. This is another very symbolic theater, very quality theater in the middle of a school in Florence that has been given back to the public after an important restoring that has been done by the Ministry of School in Italy. And this is something I'm really proud of, because this square, that is Santa Maria Novella, maybe some of you have been to Florence, you know this square. This is a monumental complex in which Leonardo da Vinci started drawing the Battaglia di Anghiari, the Battle of Leonardo, and has been for 110 years, 110 years, have been the school for police in Florence. It is something strange, but I can swear it was. And after 110 years, we have had the possibility to take, if we can go back to the, try to restart the images. Okay, aside from the church, this is the monumental complex on the left. You will see now we enter the complex. This claustrum is the biggest claustrum of Florence, where Leonardo used to draw and so on. And after 100 years, we've been able to reopen it as a museum. In that claustrum last year, and it's something that has to do with Israel, so I'm very proud to tell to this audience, we invited several companies and also the Batsheva company, and I gave a prize to Naharin, Mr. Naharin, last year during the summer festival, because it was in this claustrum there is a very good quality festival called Florence Dance Festival that can be good opportunity for all the companies to come and to perform in our city. Okay. And to finish up with the new spaces for culture of the last 5 years, this is the arena for major rock concerts, because of course we are working on several levels of culture. This is an arena for 60,000 people attending the concerts. They've been from Sting to Metallica to, I mean, all the major rock bands have passed through in these years. We have invited them in the middle of Estate Fiorentina, that is the festival I've been directing for 5 years. And now has become the major venue in Italy for rock concerts. I mean, why it is possible in Florence? Because, just very quickly, but I think it is interesting, because we have started, you've seen, I've mentioned the public park, Le Cascine of Firenze, is a park that has, in order to fight against criminality, misuse of the park, drugs, and so on, we have decided to start creating a very, very important schedule and calendar on culture, also for mass concerts like the rock concerts I've just mentioned, but also through new schools for dance or Fabrica Europa or Virgilio Sieni. So we've given the several spaces to several illuminated cultural producers who could help the administration in the rebirth of the park. So this is part of this storytelling of the new era of the park. Okay, this is a cinema that is, the Regione Toscana, the region of Tuscany, has invested together with my municipality in this new cinema, and is the first example of a totally public cinema in Florence, with a season of very selected festivals of cinemas. So it's the House of Cinema Florence. Okay, so this has something to do, is the most, I would say, international space of our city. Was born 2 years ago. So if you come, if it is a long time you don't come to my town, to my city, you should come, because it's an old industry of the tobacco industry of my city that has been sold to a private partner who is the new owner. Now Manifattura Tabacchi is the name. It's a manufacturer of tobacco. Is the most contemporary place in Florence. So now is a cultural center with a very good vibrancy, a very good new, fresh ideas getting in this space. This is the foundation that has been given to the building that has been given to the foundation of Franco Zeffirelli, the master of cinema and theater and opera, who had a particular link with my city. So Maestro Zeffirelli, he was given his foundation. Unfortunately, passed this year. So to Maestro Zeffirelli has been given this amazing example of Baroque in the middle of the city. This is another portion of the same building given to Andrea Bocelli. You know for sure Maestro Bocelli. Okay, and this is another project I'm very proud of because is the monument to the deportees in Auschwitz, the Italian deportees in Auschwitz, who, in the memory of those who were deported in the concentration camps, that has been saved by my municipality and by the Ministry of Culture of Italy, and has become a new museum for the memory of the victims of this tremendous page of history of the First and Second World War. So again, Le Murate is another system of this is a very visionary place that has been. It was a jail in the center of Florence. You know, maybe some of you had a coffee at Le Murate when you came to Florence, but now has been totally restored. It was functioning as a jail until 1986, so not many years ago, and now has become a place for. This is a carpet for dance, and all the festivals can perform in this space. In the previous images, you saw a cafe. There is a cafeteria, a nice bar in the middle of the square. There is a space for contemporary arts, and also, that is very visionary, the housing, the social housing of Florence is there. So we can find people who live above the art center or next to the bar, next to the cafe, next to the university, with a social agreement of rentals for the houses. This is another word, of course. It's a totally private hotel, but the student hotel is a group of entrepreneurs from Belgium that have taken this huge building that was of the property of the railways of Italy, and now is, of course, a hotel, but also with the ambition of hosting festivals and helping the administration in producing initiatives in culture. So, okay. Very quickly, I want to go through the Opera House because also this has been opened less than 10 years ago. The new Opera House of Florence is a new theater with 2,200 seats. And now this is the visit to the works that we are doing to open a new auditorium that will be giving more than 1,500 new seats for production, and the hope is also to host dance and performing arts in a smaller scale on respect of the other hall, but in the complex of the Maggio Musicale Fiorentino. That's the name of the opera house in Florence. Okay? Okay. Very briefly, I wanted to focus on some major institutions that started as a very independent stories of dance and performances in Florence. This is, of course, Virgilio Sieni, so with his amazing Center for Contemporary Dance, and is one of the major protagonists of the dance scene, contemporary dance scene in my city, internationally known, and is one of the figures we support financially, and also giving the space to his Center for Contemporary Dance. And this is, I already mentioned, Fabrica Europa. Fabrica Europa is a festival that you know, but if I can say something more about Fabrica Europa, is this is the station, the Stazione Leopolda that I was mentioning before, but is able, Fabrica Europa, also to work on several projects that can light up the spaces of our city with the language of body through the invitations of international companies from all over the world. So is also this is Florence Dance Festival. Sorry, but the Fabrica Europa has the capacity to work on several different spaces, and we've done a project that is called the Secret Florence, that is a way to discover through the language of body and dance new spaces that are hidden in the city. Florence is very rich, as you can see, in good, high-quality spaces, and we discover them through this map drawn by new choreographers, new creators in dance. This is Florence Dance Festival, so with the major companies in the claustrum I showed you before. Sorry? Wrong button. Okay, this is Estate Fiorentina. There's also a soundtrack. Just to give you... It's in Italian, but quite international. Project I was mentioning. This is a cinema okay. What's the last frame was on the cinema, and it was interesting because we installed a cinema, an arena of cinema, an open air cinema, in the middle of Uffizi galleries. That was a kind of I mean, we dared getting into the Uffizi with an open air cinema, public, even to so it has become, in a sense, the most beautiful open air cinema on earth, because I mean, you're in the middle of Uffizi and you have your favorite movie on the screen. So, okay, so very quickly, the idea of this festival I think is interesting also for you and I was talking yesterday night to some of the public administrators I met from the Tel Aviv administration. It's interesting because we launched a very open call for tenders, like an open call for proposals, putting 1 million euros for the first time on the table. So it's not very much because it's given to 170 associations. And the idea and the idea of the call for tenders was, and the claim, the title was, let's open up all the city through the languages of contemporary arts. And so we've we've asked all the non-for-profits associations of Florence to propose new ideas to open up the squares, to let all the city be more alive for 6 months a year. So from May to October. It's a huge festival. It's the biggest festival of Italy. And what happened is that all around the city, through a system of proposals, like book festivals, dance festivals, cinema festivals, they have proposed more than 1,000 events in 6 months. So the city has totally changed during the perception of the city, and the vibrancy of the city has totally changed through these, let's say, small investments, because 1 million euros is not that much. If you consider that it has given the possibility, you see some images of the festival, it has given the possibility to be nominated as first city for cultural vibrancy in Europe this year. So I've been to Leeds in UK getting this prize because the city is the more live city of the large cities of Europe. So, I mean, with a small investment, but with a lot of ideas and with a lot of new spaces given to new ideas, this has been a real possibility that came true in a very easy way. So, okay. This is a video. I will talk on the video, so I know we don't have many minutes left to talk about. This is a video about Teatro della Pergola. It's the theater I am the chairman of, and the idea of the new era of this theater. So we are working strongly to get it more contemporary, to get more dialogues and to get more relationships with other countries, with Eastern countries, with America, with the United States, with France, and we will see later on. I've just signed together with my general director, Mr. Giorgetti, an agreement with the Théâtre de la Ville in Paris, with Emmanuel de Marcineta, who's the director of Théâtre de la Ville. And we started with a co-production, inviting Bob Wilson with Isabelle Huppert on the stage. And this is the first agreement of several agreements we are signing with Athens in Greece, with Madrid in Spain, and I hope also with Tel Aviv in Israel. So these are images about the main hall and the theater, and I will give you a quick overview of our laboratories, our school of theater. This is the main hall. It's very precious. This is our committee gathering. Okay. And at last, if it works. Okay, this is an example. I will talk on the music, so we shorten now the end of the conference. This is the agreement I was talking about, and I think is a good opportunity because in this case, of course, is the mayor. In this case, it was an agreement with the city of Paris, the production by conference the opening of the cinema. The idea is to get a new vision and the double. The new vision is to base new agreements for the theater with the international institutions in order to consider our main theater of Florence as a door to other countries. So the idea is to bring as many agreements as we can with international relevant institutions in order to consider this place, this both physical and figurative in our city, as a door to international art. So what I'm planning to do now with this series of agreements is to work both on the language of drama, of theater, and from now on I will start working on the language of dance, inviting not only the major signatures of dance and performance, but also new talents that can come from all over the world. So we have 4 theaters in the system of the foundation. Very impressive. And you can see we can invite the talents from all over the world, and depending on the size of the plays and of the shows, we can put them on several theaters, from Bob Wilson and Isabelle Huppert, for instance, to smaller productions. So this idea has been signed with Paris, also a kind of charter, is a carta that is called 1821. It is a very important project I've been working on, because it is part of the projects for the new generations I was telling about. So the idea that all the young people, young producers of dance, theater, and so on, that will turn 18 in the 21st century, are welcome and will have the open doors of our institutions in Florence as a figurative place to open the doors to the rest of the world. So thank you so much for inviting me. Yeah. Okay. Of course, I wanted to give you an overview on my city, on the cultural system of our city, focusing every now and then on the performing arts. But of course, I will be happy to have questions if there are any about anything, spaces, finances, or whatever. Please. You need a microphone, yes.
Thanks, Tommaso, for this very inspiring vision and practice. I just wanted to ask, how do you select the artists in relation to today's topic? How does it work? Who comes in? And what are the criteria that you're, and also the mechanism, who is selecting the artists? Thank you.
Will answer to your question. It depends on which project of the ones that I've mentioned, because there are several ways to select a production. In the big, for instance, in the big festival Estate Fiorentina, there's a major part of performing arts. There is a committee that is nominated by the public administration with internal figure. I've been the art director for 5 years, so it was up to me for the last years to work on the evaluation of artistic project. It's a multimedia festival because we have from radio to dance. So the committee is nominated. There are 4 or 5 people inside the public administration who select the projects. To every project is given a percentage, and at a singular percentage corresponds the money you can give to the project. And there are several ways of determining the coefficient and the general value of the project in terms of points. One of the interesting aspects is that if you work in the peripheries of the city, for instance, so with a social impact on the peripheries of the city, you get more percentage. If you don't, you get less percentage. If you involve in your association, it's all for non-profit associations. So, but if you involve in your association, a big percentage of people working in association, like 70%, below 35 years of age, you get more percentage in the score, in the final score. So it is a mix for this festival. Is a mix-up of technical reasons of the score that brings to the score, and also an artistic evaluation that was made by me together with the committee. Me as an expert of multimedia arts. As far as the theater is concerned, is not me. I would love to, but I'm not allowed to. It's not me that I select the project. There is a general director that is nominated for 5 years, for the last 4 years, whose name is Marco Giorgetti, who is also the art director of the Teatro della Toscana, Teatro della Pergola, and it's up to him to select the projects and companies who come to the theater. I'm only the chairman, so I trust in what he does. Any other questions?
What is the percentage of the municipality budget goes to culture, and if the national government support the art in the city?
Sorry, the last part of the question?
Is the national government support the culture in the city?
Yeah. Yes, of course. Well, first part of the question, we invest. We are the first city in Italy for the per citizen investment in culture. So we invest 117.5 euros per citizen. It doesn't look very much, but for instance, Roma is 45 euros. Rome, so the capital of Italy, is less than half. What's interesting to what has to be underlined in the specific case of Florence is that having 14 million tourists every year, this leads us exactly to 43.5 million of euros in culture, invested in culture. So because the touristic tax, you know, if you come to Florence and you sleep in a hotel, you pay from 2 to 5 euros every night. This money are turned into infrastructures and culture offer. So we invest 117 euros pro capite, we say in Latin, in Italian, so per citizen, and we invest the 45 million euros totally that go to the public finances for culture. As far as the state is concerned, yes, the state of Italy, through the Ministry of Culture, give money to support our institutions, even directly, both directly to the cultural institutions or companies. You know, there is a selection in Italy that is supported by the FUS, Fondo Unico per lo Spettacolo, that is the funding of the performing arts in Italy. There is a public call for tenders, call for proposals of the ministry, and the minister, through his categories, with his departments, give money directly to companies and theaters all around Italy. And also there is a flow of money that go directly to the city of Florence, of Milano, of Rome, of Venice, or whatever. Any other question? Is okay?
Last question?
One in the middle there. Wait for the microphone.
The money that you have for culture in Florence,
Yeah.
Includes also the income from the spectacles that you held, or this money is also given out as an exception?
The income from?
From the performances.
No.
Yeah.
This is the part of we don't get the incomes from the ticketing from.
Yeah.
No, This is part, but it's interesting to answer to your question because for instance, the Estate Fiorentina Festival, you know, the big 6 months festival, of course, the 1 million euros is not enough to pay all the productions. So what we give the possibility to the cultural association to sell tickets in order to co-produce together with the municipality the shows. So in the case of Fabbrica Europa, the big festival, dance festival, and performing arts festival, we give like 60 or 70,000 euros to them, and the other part is paid also through the ticketing. But unfortunately, the ticketing, since they are all trying to keep the ticket costs very low, the ticketing doesn't cover very much. So the state, the city, and the private sponsor help more than what ticket can do. And also in the season, in the summer season, in the summer festival, Estate Fiorentina, I try to force a little bit the associations to give as many free shows as they can, because it has a real important social impact, and I want to keep the percentage of 85% of free entry shows in the festival. Okay? So thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here with you.